Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Well, as you can see, I've laid out all my Chanel goodies here with you. So I'm doing my updated Chanel collection video today. Again, I do apologize for not uploading as frequently these days, but this one has been fairly frequently requested. So I'm very happy to be doing this updated Chanel collection video with you today. Okay, so actually I haven't really added too many new pieces since the last time I did the video. There are a few items here and there, but generally the collection stayed pretty much the same. And I will pretty much do the same thing as I did last time, which is to go through all my Chanel pieces with you in the order I've acquired them. And I will try to add some mock shots while I speak to you guys. And if you have any questions or if you would like to have more details on any of these items, please comment down below and I'll be happy to do a more in-depth video for you guys on any of these items. Okay, so I started my Chanel journey with this beautiful Chanel wallet on chain, or short for walk. People call them walks, but they're really a wallet on chain. I purchased this for my 30th birthday. I was just thinking, you know, I'm 30, I want a Chanel piece in my collection, and after I started doing some researches, I realized how crazily pricey these items are. And at the time when I talked to a sales associate, which some of them are super nice, I was, to my surprise, like I was able to speak to a manager, store manager, and I was able to get some information from them about which ones I should go for. And they recommended either the walk or the Chanel Classic Flat. At the time, this walk, I believe, was $2,600 plus tax in Canada, and this here was $6,800 plus tax, which now looking back seems to be like a, you know, not super expensive, but back then I thought the price on these bags are just crazy. Even for me to like pull the plug to buy something like this for $3,000 was a lot. So when I started my my research, obviously I was looking at the caviar versus the lambskin, the hardware, which one I should go for, and so on. And I've decided to go with the classic black and gold in the caviar leather. I'm very happy with the choice. This wallet on chain is actually very low-key because it just has a very small logo on it. It's not one of your turn lock ones. I did look into the different options, but I just wanted to go with a classic piece. It kind of really, I really like the look of it. And if you go inside, the chain is actually looped in here, which it's a different mechanism as any other bags that they use. So I usually put the connecting piece hidden inside of this leather tunnel here, basically, and then it's has a number of different compartments. Even this big pocket up here, it's like all the way to the bottom here. That's where I put my authenticity card. Anyways, it's, if you look inside, there's card slot. The really design is as more of a wallet, and it has a chain on it. So this you could use as a crossbody for sure, and the chain is actually really, really long. Some people buy a shaper, like a sort of a, not an organizer, but like a shaper to keep the hold the shape of the walk. I didn't think it was necessary for me. I use this bag very frequently and it stayed in really nice shape. So I never had an issue with the bag losing its shape. But again, I didn't use, like, I tried to be careful with it, but I wasn't super, I did not baby this bag, especially because it was in the caviar leather. This one was made in France. I'm trying to find the stamp. Yeah, this one was made in France. And the newer version, they have a magnetic closure here if you're familiar. So I'll show you guys on me. The crossbody length is really too long for this bag, in my opinion. So I did use it recently again, and I basically just loop it around the flap here. And I find once you make a loop, the length is a lot more friendly. And it still works well. It doesn't really impact the functionality too much, I find. So I do like that, and I think this is a really good lens for my height. And for reference, I am 5'2", so 160 centimeters. So not very tall. But it is one of my first piece, and I do treasure it. I haven't been reaching for it very often these days because I have other options, but I do still love it and find it very classic, great for like a wedding or a night out or anything like that. So I would highly recommend this piece for anyone who's new to Chanel. Okay, so after the wallet on chain, I mean, the wallet on chain is not really considered a bag, it's really considered a small leather good. So for a while, I wasn't really thinking about Chanel just because, you know, they are pricey, and like maybe one is enough. I'm happy with my wallet on chain. And then I started to collect other brand name bags like Gucci and other brand. But then there was an opportunity for me to visit a boutique, and it was around the same time as it was just before November, I think it was October, and there was a bunch of rumors about price increases in November. So for both Dior, I actually went and purchased a Lady Dior first, and then the next day I think I went into Chanel and purchased my very first real Chanel bag, which is this Chanel medium flap, classic flap in the caviar leather, in the silver hardware or platinum hardware. It was a bit of a struggle to deciding on the leather and on the hardware on this one as well, just because, I mean, for the longest time, I know I'm not the most careful person, and you know, I should probably get caviar instead of lambskin. Now I'm a bit more familiar with the brand. I really kind of hoped I considered lambskin a little bit more at the time. I didn't even look at a lambskin bag, you know. Now I really start to appreciate the luxury and the, you know, the true beauty and the whole butteriness of the lambskin a bit more. So I wish at the time I at least considered the lambskin option. And it was a bit of a debate between gold and silver. Because I already have the gold in the wallet on chain, I was leaning towards silver. I wanted silver from the beginning. When I was there though, she did have both of them for me to look at. It just didn't seem like it was really difficult to be getting a classic flap, I have to say, at the time. Maybe the small size were a little bit trickier to get, but generally speaking, I think they always had one or two classic flap there ready to be sold. So it wasn't like I just showed up, I didn't make an appointment request. I did not have an essay because I purchased this one actually over the phone through the Montreal boutique, and this one I went to Toronto to get it. So I just went to the shop and then asked for different options, and they had two in silver, I believe, and there was one that didn't look as puffy and as structured. So I ended up getting this, my very first classic flap, and it's great. I love it. I have to say it's probably one of my least used Chanel bag in general. I mean, maybe just compared to my Coco Handle, which I also don't use very often, but yeah, it's such a beautiful bag. I mean, it's not picky, it's not hard to use. It can easily go with any outfit, I have to say. It's not the most comfortable as a crossbody bag because the strap is fairly short, but it does work for me. If I would wear a crossbody. I think it's really cute. And it's just easy because it's silver. I do find it's almost easier to use to pair with outfit because it's more subtle and low-key. But I just haven't been really using it too often. I use it here and there, but never for extended period. But it is a double flap, so I do find it's a bit it's a bit more rigid. It doesn't hold as much as you think it can, but overall it's a classic piece. And I often say if I have to pick one item to to keep in my collection, it would be the classic flap. So this is my second bag, and I still treasure it. I still love it. I cannot believe how much the price has gone up on this item. Right now it is over 10k Canadian, and that is just beyond what I can imagine. Like, even now I think it's gonna be very, very difficult for me to spend over 10k on a handbag, unless it's like a Birkin or Kelly or Constance. But anyways, my second piece, I totally forgot to bring out my other bag. I'll be right back. And of course it is my beautiful mini reissue. I don't know why I totally forgot about this way. But this is actually the next one on the list. I purchased almost at the same time as the Coco Handle. I purchased both of these while I was traveling about a year ago. So after I got this one, few months later, I believe, was it a few months later, I started traveling Asia for a few months just because I had my baby, so we decided to visit family in Asia for a while. And while I was there, I was lucky enough to find this hard to find piece, which is also one of my very favorite bag in my Chanel collection. The mini reissue in the distressed calfskin in the aged gold hardware. Again, please do check out my unboxing videos if you guys like. There's a lot of more details, close-up shots. I also did reviews and comparison on this bag as well. So the cool thing about this reissue bag, it's actually designed to be like folded flat. So when they're being stored, apparently they are just actually being stored like this, which I think most people wouldn't do that to their bags. So I sometimes do put stuff in it so it does to retain its shape. And it's holding fairly well. It's again one of those fairly carefree bags because it already comes with all these folds and lines on it, the wrinkles, so you almost don't, it's almost not a big deal if it happened to be like scratched up a little bit, because it's not going to be as easy to tell as, for example, on a lambskin bag. I also really love the shoulder strap length on this one in comparison to a mini flap, because the crossbody length is just perfect for me. Again, I'm 160 centimeters, so 5'2". And I do find that because it comes with the 4 sorry, I keep saying that wrong, but because the 4 holes on the top, you can easily convert it to a double chain strap bag, which I also love the length of, and I find it really easy to use as a shoulder bag, double chain shoulder strap. The fact that it's all like gold chain, I think it's very cool and unique. It's really the original design of the bag chain, and it kind of just brings a lot of the originality, the very classic design of Chanel, the 2.55 bag. It's very much a low-key, subtle bag. If you're not familiar with Chanel, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that this is a Chanel bag. I really love that about it. I actually thinking I bought this bag to use it for work because it's more subtle and low-key, and I never actually went back to work because of the pandemic. So yeah, but it's fine. Now I get to use all my more flashy logo bags whenever I want. So anyways, I still love this bag. I still use it very often. It's probably one of my most used mini bags in my collection. Around the same time, I purchased this Coco Handle bag. Coco Handle was really popular for a while when they were first launched. They're still fairly popular because the fact it has a top handle. Some people comparing this bag to like the Kelly bag, but it's not really a classic line in Chanel. It does seem to be reoccurring, but it's not considered one of the classic lines in Chanel, so it is still considered a seasonal bag. They comes in many different combinations of leather and hardware. Even the handle, initially they had exotic handle leather for the handles. This is actually just a regular calfskin handle with that mimic like a lizard skin handle, but it's really just calfskin. The inside of it, at one point they had a version that is all leather lined, but mine is fabric lined. It comes in this very beautiful blue color with antique kind of gold hardware. The cool thing about the bag obviously is it comes with a detachable shoulder strap, but I don't, the reason I don't use this bag very often is I just can't make it work with a crossbody look. It just doesn't feel very comfortable as a crossbody on me. Like, I keep feeling like I'm bending this handlebar here. I do like the fact that it's one of my color piece in my Chanel collection, so it does go very nicely with the jeans, with anything blue or anything like sort of in that neutral weight or you know, light blue or green color, and I really like those combinations. But generally speaking, I'm fairly neutral. Most of my clothes and outfits are neutral, so this one doesn't get used very often. So because the crossbody doesn't work, my second go-to option would be on one shoulder, and I just find it, I don't like the one shoulder like this. So then alternatively, you can also carry a top handle or in the crook of your arm like this. The one attractive thing about the Coco Handle is the fact that their price point are considerably lower compared to a lot of the other classic lines or anything with a turn lock. Even it's cheaper option compared to the trendy CC, for example. And it's quite versatile. Like, it does, you know, it looks very cute and pretty, but it's just not one of the pieces in my collection that I reach for very often. If I do have to let one thing go in my collection, I would say this might be the one that I will have to let go. But for now, I'm happy with everything I have here, so it's not something I'm considering just yet. Okay, and during the same trip, I also acquired a card holder, which is really cool because this one, I don't think they produce these anymore, but it's super useful and it's just easy to like, it's easy to work with. This one doesn't have a back pocket. They have another version with a back pocket. It is a kind of a button closure, very similar to my wallet on chain. They kind of go nicely together. And you have like one slot here and you have a bigger compartment. It can hold like a lot of cards and some cash. So I do use it more like a mini wallet. It's in caviar, so it's quite durable. So I really like this piece. At the same, during the same trip, I also got these two brooches. This was a gift, so this wasn't purchased, and this is a few years older in comparison. And this one I purchased in 2019, I believe, as part of their Christmas holiday collection. So I did get the Christmas packaging for that year. Normally you would get the white camellia flower, but if you buy things during holiday season, you get these like fancier design packaging with different camellia flower and different kind of ribbons and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I really like this one. If you follow my channel, you see me wear this every other day or every other video. So I really like this one. It has pearls and crystal on it. And it's just a really nice size for either like dresses and even shirts and knit or coats. Like, I just think it's a perfect size for all type of outfits. Okay, so that covered quite a bit. So I did make a lot of purchase during that trip. Then I came back to Canada, and then the pandemic hit. So for a while it was more quiet, and I did start my channel around that time, very excited, and things were great, and I love sharing my passion and love for these luxury items with you guys. It was really fun. And obviously during which time I got influenced by other YouTubers and other Instagrammers with the items, with the amazing collections that they all have. So I think the next item I added to my collection was actually this vintage piece. So for a while, if you follow my channel, for a while I was doing a lot of online bidding on eBay. So on eBay, there are a number of Japanese sellers. They probably own like a shop or something. If you guys don't know, Japan has probably the largest vintage market, like luxury vintage market in the world. My understanding of it is because, you know, their economy was really strong for a long time, and luxury goods were very common. It was like found everywhere, and then their economy crashed for a bit, so a lot of these vintage pieces got consigned into those consignment stores. So they have like those massive vintage stores that sells vintage pieces. And this one is probably from the early 90s, late 80s, so really a real vintage, which means that all the hardwares are gold plated. And you can tell that by how saturated the color is. It's a lot more yellow. Doesn't necessarily mean it's more shiny, but it's just a lot more yellow, and you have a stamp at the corner there. I would say most Japanese sellers are quite safe, are mostly reputable, so you do have to look at the reviews and things like that. But I would say most of them are fairly good. Like but again, I don't buy them that often. I purchase quite a few Louis Vuitton items through eBay, Japanese consignment, but not so many. This is my only Chanel piece that I've ever purchased on eBay. I did have to pay duty and tax on it, but after all, it was still a really good price. It was just over $2,000. And because the bidding is just, you know, it's what it is, right? If you're really lucky, you could end up bidding for a really nice price. For this particular bag, it really is a comparable size, probably to a not a maxi, but maybe the next size up, a jumbo. It is the same width as a medium flap, but it is taller. So it is a bit less rectangle, it's more square. And the cross body length, I really like it. It's much more friendly than the medium classic flap. I have to be really honest, I only used this bag once since I got it, just for an outfit, but otherwise it's been sitting in my closet. I do find it, because it's a vintage piece, it does seem a little bit more delicate and fragile, so I am a bit worried to use it too frequently with my daughter. But I do think, you know, vintage pieces has their uniqueness, and it makes you feel like you really know the brand and appreciate the brand by owning something vintage from them. And like I said, the price on these is just unbeatable right now. $2,000, you can barely afford any SLGs, like, you know, like a chain SLGs from Chanel anymore. So I do think, given it's a turn lock, it does have the classic quilting and the classic element of Chanel bags. I think it's really a good purchase. The corners are in decent condition. Potentially I could send it to like a leather surgeon or something like that to just make it newer looking, but I really don't see that being necessary. In the meantime, everything is in really good condition for this bag. But like I said, I just haven't been using it often because I have so many other options, and also I do find it a little bit more delicate because of its condition. And then after that, I purchased my big shopping tote, my grand shopping tote. This bag is actually a really good purchase. I really like it because it's such an easy piece. The fact that it's a second-hand piece and the fact that it's caviar just makes me feel very easy and very I don't worry about it when I use the bag. It's one of my go-to bag now when I need to bring something large with me. Like if I need to go with my daughter or anything like that, this is such an easy grab and go, and you just put whatever you need in the large compartment on the side. You have the Stitch logo on both sides, on this side, and then you have the big nice Mona Lisa pocket on one side. So it's all very very well designed, very practical. The bag itself is a bit heavy, so if you do plan to walk around all day with it, it does get heavy. But overall, really happy with the purchase. This one was also about $2,000, so you can definitely find some really good buys on the secondhand market for sure. Yeah, the shape, it's starting to lose its shape a little bit, but overall I think it's still in fairly nice condition. The hardware is still nice and shiny and gold, so yeah, it's a really nice size bag. And last but not least, in terms of bag, is obviously my beautiful Chanel 19. So this is my newest Chanel edition, and it's probably gonna be my last one for quite some time. I am very happy with my collection as is, so I don't really think I'll be adding anything soon. I contemplated about a mini Chanel for some time, you guys know. But I think I've decided to just like pass on it for a little while and see how things goes. But Chanel 19, I've done so many videos on this bag. I don't need to really tell you guys too much more about it. I love this bag. It's one of my most used bags, but you also know the chain does get twisted up very often, which is quite frustrating. But it doesn't bother me as much, but it is one of the flaws for sure. And obviously it's such a great top handle bag. I use it very often. Lately it's probably one of my most used Chanel bags. I just like the pillow, the softness of the bag. It holds a ton of things, and I do find it to go really easy with any kind of outfit. And this one, if you guys can't not tell on camera, is actually in this very dark night navy color. So it's like a really dark color, dark navy color, and I love that about it as well because all my other bags are black. So I love the fact that it's kind of a slightly different and more interesting color tone. And I think it's so neutral that I'd kind of just use it as a black bag. I don't really think about it too much. And I guess one other thing is I did purchase a pair of espadrilles recently. It's actually in the white and the black combination. It is from actually a buyer of mine, and she bought them but never got to wear them, and she got pregnant and she couldn't wear them again. So anyways, we happen to be the same size. I normally, if you follow my channel, you would know this, I normally don't spend a lot on shoes just because I know I wear my shoes out like in an instant, and I just can't bear the fact that, you know, I'll spend like $1,000, $2,000 on a pair of shoes that'll get ruined. Like, unless I don't use it, then what's the point of it, right? So that's why I normally don't. But this one, because an opportunity came up, I actually been using it and enjoying them quite a bit this summer. So it was a really good purchase for me. But again, I think I would be pretty hesitant to purchase it new from store just because they're so pricey. And again, I wouldn't buy it if the condition is not like new, because again, it's shoes and everything. So anyways, everyone have their own view on that, but I'm very happy with the purchase. I only paid $400 for these, and they were in like really like brand new condition when I purchased them. You can tell I've been wearing them a little bit, so they start to show a little bit of wear. And it's the same reasons why I've been kind of holding back on buying the all-run sandals from Hermes, even though I really like them. I just find like I ruin shoes so quickly that it just doesn't really make sense in my mind. So anyways, that covers it all. I know it's a bit like chatty and a bit rampy, but if you guys have any questions or want to know more about any of these items, please do comment down below, and I will try to make a better effort to post more frequently and more consistently moving forward. So very excited to talk to you guys soon. Bye!